What we've got here is a well-established business that is audited on a regular basis, that complies with all animal welfare standards, best practices, including Red Tractor. We've got references here from the veterinary surgeon who's been coming here for over 10 years.
Now, an animal welfare group have released undercover film footage appearing to highlight inhumane conditions at a Warwickshire pig farm. The organisation, Viva, say they're filming at Hogwood Pig unit near Stratford-upon-Avon, which houses over 15,000 pigs, showed some of the worst conditions they'd ever seen. They say the bodies of over 30 dead pigs were found in varying states of decay and distress in a large wheelbarrow outside one of the unit's buildings. Our reporter Ben Russell has been to the farm.
So I've just arrived at Hogwood Farm. It's a brick farmhouse at the front, and then you can see buildings going off into the back. I'm going to go and see if there's anyone who'll talk to me.
Brian Hobel, Hogwood Farm.
Okay, and obviously this story's come out. What's your side of it?
Well, I think if I can speak on Brian's behalf...
Could you just tell me who you are?
I'm a colleague of Brian's. What we've got here is a well-established business that is audited on a regular basis, that complies with all animal welfare standards, best practices, including Red Tractor. We've got references here from the veterinary surgeon who's been coming here for over 10 years. She does so every 3 months. At a minimum, was here 2 weeks previously before the incursion by Viva, and we're dealing with live animals. There are issues where you've got, as part of natural birth, there are kind of stillborn and things like that. So, as a well-established business, we don't believe that we've got any concerns. We are currently reviewing our practices, particularly in and around access to what is a livestock controlled environment. But we do think that there was some skullduggery gone on from Viva's point of view. But we're just going to keep it simple. We're reviewing our practices. We are a well-established business that complies to everything that we should do, and will continue to go past that. And there's not a lot else more to say.
Obviously, some people have found the videos and the pictures shocking. What would you say to those people?
There's in farming, in agriculture, we're dealing with animals and things happen. When we're dealing with journalistic so-called pressure groups, it is easy to sensationalise and make something look a lot worse than it actually is.
And is that what you think has gone on here?
Absolutely. Yes, that is what we think.
Ben Russell reporting there. Well, Juliet Gellatley is from Viva. She joins me now. Good morning, Juliet.
Good morning.
Can we just explain what Viva stands for, please?
Viva I set up 23 years ago now. It's animal welfare, environmental, and we look at the health impact of what we eat, and we encourage people to go vegan as a solution to many of these awful problems regarding animal welfare and what happens to them.
Okay, so you have that, just to set out that you have that agenda anyway. So I
went vegan because of actually seeing a pig factory farm myself first hand, and I was so shocked by it. Unfortunately, what Hogwood shows is that things in Britain are getting worse, and we've noticed this generally over the last couple of decades, that in fact intensive or factory farming is getting worse, not better. And although there are lots and lots more vegans than there ever were before, at the same time industrialised farming, the pressure seems to be on to treat these animals worse than ever.
So why did you visit that farm? Why did you choose to visit that farm?
Because we were contacted by a former employee who saw the footage of another farm that we filmed in Norfolk and said, where I used to work is even worse. So we investigated to see if that was the case. So we went in with cameras. The doors, by the way, at Hogwood are completely unlocked. So all we do is go in, don't touch anything, film, and come out. And the footage that people see on the Viva site is exactly what we experienced and what we saw. And I've been filming for, as I say, many years now in Britain's factory farms, just to expose exactly what's going on behind closed doors. And I really believe anyone with a heart would be really shocked by what they saw at Hogwood. I mean, I was. I mean, there were massive sheds. There's 15,000 animals there. It's a huge place. This is not some aberrant little place. And you could barely walk through the animals. They were so overcrowded and so filthy, covered in their own filth.
Yeah. Well,
with,
can I just ask you?
Water that hadn't been cleaned out.
Yeah, Juliet, can I just ask you, because we know obviously you're a vegan and you're obviously going to promote non-meat eating, but you heard there from the people at the farm, they think you're raking up trouble deliberately. Have you made this look worse than it is?
You don't need to make anything look worse than it is. You just go in, you film, you get out, and you put out what you see. This is factory farming. This is the face of British factory farming. And at Viva, we just want people to see the truth so they can make their own mind up of whether they support this kind of practice or not. And we would really think this place is so bad that it needs to be closed down. Last year, we filmed another red tractor place where the piglets were actually in cages, like battery farms. Red tractor is absolutely meaningless.
Well,
it guarantees nothing of welfare standards.
Okay, but did you attempt to speak to the farm themselves? Did you attempt to sort of try and communicate with them?
What is there to say to somebody that can keep 15,000 animals like that? All we're interested in doing is filming the actual reality. The trouble is, when these government inspections go on, they happened a week after we went in. The farms had plenty of warning to, for example, remove all the dead animals. It wasn't just the dead piglets that we found outside rotting, who'd been there for considerable days in the barrow. They'd been there so long that it was literally a sea of maggots, thousands and thousands and thousands of maggots. So inside there were animals that were dead, that were adults, that were blackened and bloated, that had not been removed from the living.
So what do you think needs to be done, Juliet?
I think that we have to face up as a society that the law for farmed animals is so incredibly weak. I was just talking to the RSPCA about this just a couple of days ago. The law is so weak in the UK that we have to make a stand and actually just stop eating these animals ourselves, because every time we lobby government to do something about it, nothing is done.
But that's all very well.
It's becoming more industrialised, not less. So it's about taking yourself out.
Juliet, I understand. Yeah. You know, the main end game is to try and stop people eating meat. But there are a lot of farms that do it responsibly, and they make sure the conditions are good. Would you not say that if you obviously want to eat meat, you do want to eat meat, and there are some farms? Would you agree that are responsible farming?
Well, the figures are really quite shocking for the UK. For example, over 90% of pig meat comes from factory-farmed, indoor-reared animals today. And in fact, organic, so-called free-range, has gone down. It's something like 1.5% of the total. It's absolutely minute. And last year we filmed in so-called free-range farms and exposed them too, because this industrialised free-range farming, it gives an impression that somehow the animals are happy to be slaughtered. Remember, they're slaughtered as babies at only 6 months old, and no matter what the system, they're taken from the mothers at just 3 to 4 weeks old.
Well, Juliet,
so there's a lot of problems no matter where you look, and all we're saying is it's fantastic to go vegan now. There are so many thousands and thousands of choices. It's very easy. Just take yourself out of the buying cycle and don't buy into it.
Okay, thank you, Juliet Gellatley from Viva. Well, we asked the National Pig Association to come on, but no one was available. However, they sent us this statement.
Vegan organisations with an anti-farming agenda are increasingly involved in illegal incursions onto farms during the night. And there's clear evidence the disturbance of the pigs by the activists has itself been the source of welfare detriments. In many ways, the footage presented is not typical of the farm itself nor industry in general. We suspect that is what's happening here. Nevertheless, we do not tolerate breaches to animal welfare standards. Any welfare allegations are taken extremely seriously and trigger an immediate independent inspection. In this instance, the Animal and Plant Health Agency carried out a spot audit and no health or welfare issues were found in the pigs present.